Yo, 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 what is up, everyone? Welcome in. I mean, Jesus, dude, my voice is awful. I mean, there's nothing to be done about this. This is Snap's fault. This all started on Thursday with the very fun, very excellent Snaps live show in Baton Rouge. It's been a bit of a bender, boys. It's been a bit of a bender, but at the end of the day, Aaron, the bottom line is
That's me.
you play to win the game. Okay. And so,
Amen.
yes, have I been burning the candles at both ends? Absolutely. Have I done irreparable damage to my liver and or heart? My blood feels very thick right now. Absolutely. Probably. But you know what else fucking happened, Aaron Murray? LSU just beat the hell out of Ole Miss. And I just got to watch Texas A&M lose to South Carolina. Are you kidding me, dude? A great Saturday for the boys. Aaron, what's up, dude? How we feeling tonight, bro?
Man, what's up? What's up? My dogs obviously were off this weekend, so I was just chilling, watching the rest of college football.
Hell yeah, dude.
And I was, I know, like you say, you're VFL for life. I feel like I'm a little bit, go Tigers for life. I don't know what the hell you guys
You
call each
are.
other,
You
but
are in the club.
yeah,
You had faith when I did not. You are correct. You forced
I
me,
forced you
peer
to
pressure
bet.
me
Yep.
at the live show to make the third biggest bet of my life on LSU. Everybody said it was an awful idea. It was going to go sideways. And guess what? It didn't, Aaron Murray. You finally won me some money, dude. That's right, dude. Third time's a charm. Shout out FanDuel Sportsbook app. Thank you, Aaron. I needed that peer pressure. Thank you very
You
much.
did. You needed it. LSU needed it. It was a big win for the boys today. And it was a little scary earlier. I was really about to text you like, damn it, T-Bob, you really fucked up LSU by betting
It
on them
was,
again. When they were down by like 14 in the first quarter. I was
bruh,
like, gee, T, what'd you do now?
that was wild to watch that game go from 17-3 to 45-20 was it was absurd, but that's kind of who this LSU team has been. But look, we'll talk Tigers. We're gonna talk Jimbo has 11
Mm.
seconds left in the game. It is a disaster, a certified disaster in College Station right now. Want to touch on Oregon a bit. Very impressive today. See what happens, Aaron. You bail on me, right? You stop being a
Oh,
petite
yes,
Trojan
I
boy.
know.
You try to roll
Mm.
with the Bruins, and even though your boy Zach Cabernet goes for 150 on the ground and like 2 touchdowns, doesn't mean anything. Oregon getting it done. So we'll talk about that. And then maybe we'll see where at time wise, maybe a little bit of Texas. Though I can basically sum up the Texas conversation with stop calling me T-Bob and start calling me fucking Charlie Brown. Because I tried to kick that football again like a dumbass. I knew Lucy was going to pull it. I could see in her eye.
Uh,
She does it every time. And yet again, I convinced myself that this was going to be the time when I was going to be able to make contact. I'm so over Texas. Aaron, if I ever start to talk positively about Texas again, I give you permission to if we're in this, just slap me. Like
yeah.
literally slap me physically across the face and wake me up, dude. Wake me
Hey,
up.
listen,
It's
I was
ridiculous, bro.
drinking the Kool-Aid too. I mean, we had a whole segment of me this week talking about how good Quinn Ewers is. Like, Quinn Ewers is gonna be a top draft pick. And I still think the kid's super
Yeah,
talented, but he crapped the bed today. He looked lost. He looked scared. He looked uncertain of the play calls of what they were doing on defense. And this was what we said all week. This was the worst passing defense in the Big 12 he was going against. And
yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah.
not scared of the big time moments. He's not scared of the spotlight. These are the games he lives for. And I thought about this midway through the game. I was like, why does he look like shit right now? Like, what is different now compared to every other game he's played in? This was his
What was it?
first true. It was his first true road game. I'll give him that excuse because that's the only thing that makes
Oh,
sense.
okay.
Like, Alabama was at home. Then the next couple of games were on the road, but he was injured. Oklahoma was in a neutral site, so not really a home or away. Obviously, split 50-50, and Oklahoma just sucks this year. Last week was at home. So this is really his first opportunity playing in a hostile environment. And it looked like it got to him. It looked like the moment was too big for him. Like he couldn't handle the crowd noise, the excitement, the dealing with the communication issues. all that seemed to affect his game. The accuracy was horrendous. He wasn't following through on his throws. Everything was sailing. Everything was high. He seemed to just want to get rid of the ball. He was scared of contact. And he's a big guy. Why just standing there and throw the damn ball? So he was awful. But big shout out to Spencer Sanders and Oklahoma State, man. They found a way to win at home. They were down big too. They were down big after what happened last week. Like, man, is this team just going to kind of fold it in? And they continued to fight. They found a way, and kudos to them. But damn, we both got fooled by Texas because that was embarrassing.
So A&M just got the onside kick, dude. They did a little trickery where they had two kickers on the field at one time, and they had one guy looking like he was going to kick it to the right side of the field. An old boy came in from the left and hit a perfect, or he looked like he was a kicker right, they kick it left, but just a perfect onside kick. So 9 seconds left. A&M's got to play from the 40. We'll see, dude. We'll see.
How did they score?
What? They I think they kicked the field goal just now. They went down and kicked the field goal. I wasn't really paying attention too much. Here we go. Last play of the game. So we're gonna rack live this real quick. Wegman's rolling out. He bombs it down at the end. That throw is not making it, bro. Ooh, 1 second left. Am I got another shot? Hey, shout out to everybody hanging out with us tonight. Crying Belly is a funny name. David Harlow, Efficient Magazine. That's a very funny name. We got Target on the pod. Brambo, Bilbo, Hal Jubin. What's happening, y'all? Welcome in. A bot named Scooby-Doo. So happy to be doing a little Saturday night recap with y'all here on Snaps. All right, so, let's see what happens in A&M, Aaron, because Jimbo is actually where I probably want to start this thing before we get into LSU and Oregon and Clemson and everything else. Last play of the game.
Well, I need this because I got money line on South Carolina. I got 2 bets. I got money line
you're good, dude.
And I'm good with the over under because I'm covering. Okay, we're good. Game over.
You're good, dude. Over. You're good, dude. Let's
give me that money line, South Carolina, baby. Let's
go. Aaron fucking told you, Aaron Murray, QB1. He watched the film. By the way, Aaron, your LSU take spot on with more quarterback design runs for Jaden Daniels. One of the key parts of today, they did more of it than they had done at all this year. They ran the ball more generally. That's why you should listen to Aaron Murray when he talks on snaps. He eats up film.
For Jaden. 23 carries for Jaden.
23. And then again, the key there is that these were designed. Normally this year, that has not actually been the case. So shout out, Aaron, freaking nailed it, dude. All right. I love Beamer, dude. I love Shane Beamer. His energy is incredible. He looks so happy right now. I am down to say that I love Cox. Okay. And I am not going to support any other SEC East team. Now, I kind of like Athens and the Bulldogs are fine. I'm not saying that I'm hating on your Bulldogs, but I'm talking about if we're, between the Kentuckys and everybody else, Georgia, Tennessee above her, but the lower tier, I'm rolling with the Cox, dude. Shout out Beamer ball, baby. Getting it done. And what happens now, dude, think about this, Aaron Murray. South Carolina just beat A&M to move to 5-2 on the year and just sent the Aggies to 3-4. 3-4. South Carolina moving to 5-2, sending the Aggies to 3-4. Aaron, you called this. You were heavy on the money line. You didn't even care when I lost you a half point on getting your bets in late. What did you see that led you to believe that this was going to be the case?
Well, the only thing I saw and knew was the fact that Haynes King was going to be the quarterback for A&M. I think I've played in that stadium, and it's one of the most intimidating places in all of America to play, especially at night. They get sandstorm rolling. It's a nightmare. And if you're not a good quarterback and you don't got good talent around you, it's going to end up being a horrific night of football. And listen, Haynes had his moments, and there was times during the game where it was like, all right, Haynes doesn't actually look that bad. Made probably some of the best throws that I've seen him in the past 2 years, but it just was a bad start. South Carolina gets the kickoff return for a touchdown. There was some miscommunication between the offensive line and Haynes. Turns into a fumble. South Carolina then turns that into a touchdown. One of the stupidest things I've seen for Jimbo continuing to be or we talked about as this offensive mastermind. They were doing, and I'll let you talk about this a little bit, T-Bob, because you're an offensive lineman.
Yeah.
They were doing cadence on the road in a extremely hostile environment in the shotgun.
What?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
I saw that.
Not
I saw that
clapping,
at the
not
end of the
stopping.
game.
Literally, the quarterback doing. I've never seen it in my life, and it caused a fumble. It caused multiple full starts. I'm sitting back like, why are you making it harder than it has to be? So I don't know.
Bruh.
You tell me, if as an offensive lineman, did you ever play in a game on the road in the SEC where it wasn't a silent cadence?
Hell no, dude. If you were able to go voice, that meant it was mission accomplished. That meant like, pack it up. We've kicked their ass. We're getting ready to go. These last couple series, whatever, we can just start using cadence. Hell no, dude. You had that. That is absurd. And you know what? I'm so glad that you mentioned the environment at South Carolina, because I don't feel like it probably gets as much appreciation as it should. Because, Aaron, South Carolina has been bad at football forever. Like, if you actually look at their history, there may not be another team in the country that has played as much football as South Carolina with so little success. They've been playing since 1892. Since 1892. And outside of the Spurrier years, where I think they stacked was it 3 10-win seasons? Yeah, they went. Okay, so in Spurrier years,
they were rolling when I was in school. Yeah, they were rolling when I was in school. Yeah.
So they went 11-2, 11-2, and 11-2, 11-13. Aaron, in 100 years of football outside of that, over 100, they have 1 10-win season. 1 10-win. And I don't bring this up to crap on them. I bring this up to give them credit, because the fans still love it. The fans still show up, and the fans still go hard, dude. Sandstorms pops. I remember how aggressive that environment was. I'm so happy for them that they're getting to enjoy a win like this, enjoy a win, the Kentucky win, because that is a long-suffering fan base. And if there's one thing that I love in sports, it's when a fan base gets a little, it's whatever. It's the underdog. When a fan base that has been largely ignored and crapped on gets a little juice, man. So that feels right. Okay, anything to add on South Carolina before we start shitting on A&M, which is just as much fun?
We are about to unleash. Well, you know what's crazy? I mean, you look at the beginning of the season for South Carolina. They won versus Georgia State, and that was a pretty ugly win. I mean, it was a ball game for, I would say, 2 or 3 quarters. They lose to Arkansas. They lose to Georgia. Spencer Rattler looks like crap. And then all of a sudden, Charlotte and South Carolina State, he starts kind of picking it up, man, taking care of the football, more accurate, more RPOs, get the ball off his hands, played well versus Kentucky, then played well again tonight versus Texas A&M. So, all of a sudden, you're starting to see what we thought Spencer Rattler could be, because what he was 2 years ago at Oklahoma was great. Obviously got benched last year. Still had a decent year before he got benched, and we all can see why. Caleb Williams is an absolute freak. And then came into this season, it's did he lose his juice? Did he lose his mojo? Did he lose that, Heisman-like mentality? And that's what it looked like, especially after Georgia. You're like, damn, this kid's rough. Feet in the wrong spots, throwing interceptions. But he turned it around, and they got the run game going to help him out a little bit, take some pressure off him. They've been just dominating on the ground. This is a really good football team. You talked about their record, 5-2 right now. Obviously, they're not going to win the SEC East. There's no chance with Georgia and Tennessee. But you look at their schedule: Missouri, Vandy, Florida, 3 very winnable games. Last year, they won 7 games.
Yeah.
You have a chance to match that these next 2 weeks. I think they get to 7-2. They can beat Florida. It's going to be tough, but they can beat Florida. And they ain't going to beat Tennessee. But damn it, the way Clemson looked today, Clemson is vulnerable, man.
Dude,
they got some issues in a lot of places. So that game is going to be interesting at the end of the season.
Boys, I don't know what's going on, Aaron. I am starting to loathe Clemson. I am starting to hate them with every fiber of my body, and we'll get to it. But the reason is they're just not deserving. And they're going to go undefeated. And there are multiple one-loss teams that I would like better than Clemson, that I would want to put in over Clemson. And I'm worried that's not going to happen. Okay, look, a lot of people tell me you got to stop drinking in the chat. I absolutely understand it. But to be clear, guys, lost voice is not synonymous with drunk, okay? This is being tired and maybe a little bit of drunkenness. Okay, so let's get to Texas A&M here then, because just now, Aaron, South Carolina's up
Mm.
24-21, and they went on an 8-play, 80-yard drive to close out the game. And look, we talk all about Jimbo and the failing offense, but we do talk about the talent they have, right? And that defense should be good. You just let South Carolina punch you in the nose. I mean, they just bullied you. That ain't fluky. 8 plays, 80 yards, close out the game. They're 5-2. You're 3-4. Texas A&M right now is in full implosion mode. And I've seen this firsthand, dude. It feels awful. I've seen it firsthand. Brum brought up a couple good examples. Like, I mean, it's kind of like Mullen last year, dude, how quickly the end can come. I don't like, if you have a brittle culture, which it feels like Texas A&M has a brittle culture, this is the type of loss that can shatter you. And I think contextually, why it gets so interesting with A&M is they just, obviously, we all know this, they just got literally the best recruiting class of all time, right? So the future should be bright, but whether this is right or wrong, we all believe it. They did it in a very mercenary way, by paying people, right? And so I, like, as a social experiment, I am fascinated to see what happens in the transfer portal era with NIL and everything. What happens to this A&M team? Like, are these players going to pack up and fold and go sell their swords elsewhere? Or is this young core going to be like, no, we're going to change it, stick around and try to make it happen? And that's not even getting to whether or not Jimbo's in there. But like, A&M right now is in full self-destruct mode.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't see these kids are going anywhere. The one big thing is they're getting paid a ton of money. I think right now, like, listen, I have an NIL company. I work with these kids. All they care about is money. Like, it is crazy how much my phone is blowing up, especially from your damn LSU football players, about when am I getting paid?
Pay them boys. They're fucking beating ass.
Oh, they are
dude.
rolling
Pay
right
them
now.
boys. Dude, let's go. Dude. I mean,
like, all these kids
them.
get about money. Like, let's go put ourselves in their shoes. 18, 20-year-old kid. I want to get paid. And if I stay at A&M, there is the thought that, like, hey, man, we're building something. We got this incredible recruiting class. We had a great recruiting class the year before, and we're getting more money than probably anyone else in the country. Why the hell would I leave that opportunity to get paid?
Yeah.
And Jimbo continue to sell the hope and the dream of, hey, next year. So, no, I don't see any kind of mass exodus of players.
It's a good point.
You may see that if, say Jimbo does get paid out, then possibly. But once again, $90 million, that's just a little bit unrealistic too. So no, these kids are going to stay. It is a lot of talent on that roster. I mean, my big issue right now is Jimbo's getting paid all that money, and you're not going to make a bowl game this year. Like, they're not. Right now, you can't tell me, if you look at their schedule at 3-4 with 5 games to go. So you have to win 3 of your next 5 games. Versus Ole Miss, Florida, Auburn, UMass, and LSU. Right now, Ole Miss, I know they got their ass whooped today. Ole Miss is a better football team. Florida 100%, is a better football 100%. Team. Yeah. Auburn, it's at Auburn. Auburn may be a damn better football team from what I've seen so far. UMass, no. LSU, no. Like, I don't know if there's going to be a game that they'll be favored going forward besides UMass. So all of a sudden you're running into the risk of being a 5-7 football team with Jimbo getting paid all that money, with the kids getting paid all that money, with incredible recruiting classes. Like, I'd be frustrated as hell, but what are you going to do? Are you really thinking you're going to give that man $90 million to pack up and leave? You're not. So we might as well not even bitch about it and moan about it if you're a Texas A&M fan. Unless you want to start some GoFundMe page, you're going to see the same thing next year most likely. Not as bad. I won't say that. I won't say it ain't going to be as bad next year. It'll be a little bit better. There'll be an 8-4 team next year.
Okay. So a couple of things here. First off, shout out to Chris Mollett in the chat. Go Buckeyes. He says, just found this channel and it's awesome. Go Bucks. Hell yeah, man. The Buckeyes looking good. They're just cruising. They look great. We'll talk about them probably during the week next week. But you're right, dude. It's now it is very tough to imagine paying Jimbo's buyout, right? Especially when he has a recruit class and everything. But Aaron, that's what I'm talking about, though, with full implosion mode, right? Because it can get bad enough and it can get toxic enough where boosters convince themselves that the situation is untenable. That like that it cannot be recovered, and that we have this young talent and we have all this investment. Like, we need to get a guy who's going to bring us there. And right now, if you look at Jimbo post national championship, we ran Florida State into the ground. They had the good 2020 year at A&M, but outside of that, it has been worse than Kevin Sumlin. Actually getting into like significantly worse territory now if they fall apart at the end of the season. Like, if anybody has the money to pay somebody $90 million not to work, it's A&M. I agree with you. I don't think it's going to happen, but that's why they're so fascinating, is because that's a school that can do it.
Where would you rank him right now? And let's just focus on just the SEC West right now. So I'm going to rank.
Bro, A&M is the worst team in the West, dude.
No. Auburn is the worst. I'm just saying coaches coaches in the SEC West. It goes. Alabama. I would say Alabama, LSU, Ole Miss, Arkansas. You can kind of flip them. Mississippi State, A&M, then Auburn.
Wait, hold on. Give me that list one more time.
I'm gonna go.
Give me your best teams in the West right now, Aaron. I don't care about coaches. Give me your best teams in the West.
Alabama.
Yeah.
LSU.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed. I just finished. Let's go, dude. What? LSU second in the West, dude? Let's go, bro. Okay. Look, we got plenty of time to shit on A&M, make fun of Jimbo all week. It's gonna be very fun. But your point is very well made. You would rank him at the bottom of the list. You would rank A&M at the bottom of the list. And so from an investment to a return standpoint, A&M is awful right now. Shout out Dan Davis. He says, go Ducks. We'll get to Oregon in a second. But now we got to talk about them LSU boys as the Tigers get it done, dude. How about that, dude? LSU, and we all knew it was a stinky line, right? But LSU had been inconsistent. We didn't exactly know what Jaden Daniels was going to show up. And I'll be damned, Aaron, I'm going to start giving Jaden the benefit of the doubt now. Because to me, he has turned a corner now. Like, you do it once, okay. But this is now 2 games in a row in which he has looked decisive in terms of just purely throwing the ball, right? But also when to run. They're running him on more design quarterback. Like Mike Denbrock, the offensive coordinator, is learning his personnel more and more, understanding how to put them in good positions that they're comfortable with. But to me, everything goes back to Jaden and his growth post Auburn game. It's fantastic. And now, dude, LSU tied for the SEC West lead with Alabama coming in town, dude. Let's go,
what I tell
dude.
You I would do, T-Bob, what I tell you I would do if LSU won. I think LSU can win. I don't know what the line is right now. Early line for that game in 2 weeks. I'm gonna have to look it up, but I think LSU can win that game.
Both teams have a bye. Both teams have a bye. That's the classic LSU Bama thing.
Yes. But when you look at LSU right now and you look at the talent on both sides of the football, defensively they've been great for the majority of the year. They've been really good. Besides, obviously the game versus Tennessee, but it's a hell of an offense.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
But what Jaden has done each and every week and gotten better and better and better and better. They're running the ball. The receivers are looking like we thought they would. From the catch by Jure was tremendous. Kayshawn looks like he now gives a damn, which is great. Like we've seen now back-to-back weeks where Kayshawn looks like he wants to be on the field. Like Kayshawn wants to be involved in the offense. And the more you get him to be that potential All-American type receiver, that's just going to make everyone else around him better. That's going to give more one-on-one opportunities for guys like Jure, guys like Malik, guys like Brian Thomas, and Mason Taylor at tight end. So the talent is there on offense. The offensive line's getting better. The running backs are getting better. The quarterback's getting better. The defense is good. Why not? And you're at home. It's going to be. It's going to be.
Okay.
I'm trying not to get. I'm not trying to get pumped up too much, T-Bob. But I tell you, man, there's a way to make it happen.
I got my wizard hat on right now. Okay, so we'll just call this my Homer hat. Allow me to put on my Homer hat for a second here. And Aaron, think about this: Alabama for 2 years now on the road has been pretty shit, right? They were awful on the road at Texas. They were awful on the road at Texas A&M. were awful on the road. I mean, not awful, but they lose the game on the road at Tennessee. And then even last year, they survived a couple scares on the road. So there's elements to like there. And I think what you just hit on in terms of talking about the growth of all these different position groups, to me here locally, that seems to be one of the biggest storylines is that like you feel like you have a football team that is consistently getting better week to week. And that is something that it's honestly kind of been a while since you had that.
Yep.
Like maybe since the interim Ogeron year when Miles got fired and then you improved, but like 19 was not getting better week to week. That was just this like explosion flash in the pan. What you're seeing right now feels like a foundation being built. And locally, the people are beside themselves with excitement. I mean, and you know what, for Brian Kelly, look, he gets a top 10 win. And you can say, "Oh, Ole Miss is top 10 frauds," and I get it. But resumes, and when we judge coaches, we look at things like top 10 wins. And so for him, this was a massive statement. Like you said, the quarterbacks believe in themselves. The O-line played fantastic today. They ran it all over them. Oh, I don't think Ole Miss defense is any good, but the point is, they have about as much confidence as you could heading into that Alabama game. And I'll be
How about
fascinated to see that pay dividends.
no 100%? How about that weekend in 2 weeks?
Yeah,
You
bro.
have
Yes, I know.
Tennessee going to Georgia, and then Alabama going to LSU. I don't know if CBS has
Well, you
used
know what
both
that means,
double
bro.
weekends. Huh.
No, they did, dude. They already used their night slot on A&M Alabama. So you know what that
Mm,
means, dude. That means Tennessee, Georgia at 2:30, and it means Saturday night in Death
yeah.
Valley on ESPN, 6
Yep.
o'clock. The
Yep.
moon in the air, the stars twinkling, the electricity, and we'll see.
It's gonna be game
We'll
day. It's
see.
gonna be game day.
This
Game day will be there.
this is my this is my favorite part of every year where I spend where the entire LSU mind, you know, like collective mind, we spend 2 weeks hyping ourselves up that LSU is going to beat Alabama, and then you know, and then it doesn't
Hey, can
happen.
we can we say can we say
But
right now? Can we say right now,
yes.
T-Bob, that each you and I will both put $100 on LSU money line?
Oh, bro, after this week, you know we letting it ride. Let's do it,
Let's
dude.
go.
For those
Come on,
that don't
baby.
know,
Come on.
on the live show Thursday, Aaron helped me to get the monkey off my back. He pressured me into making the third biggest bet of my life on LSU. I didn't want to do it. I did it. I finally got a big payday. I now I know third time's a charm. Hell yes, dude. Thank you, Aaron. We betting on this thing. You best believe
Hell
that,
yeah, we
bro.
are.
LSU money line, big payments only. Yeah, we were supposed to go way quicker than this. My bad, dude, bro. Okay.
Is Brum saying something in
Anything
the
else in
chat?
Yeah, no, well, no, I just realized that it's already 10:30, and before the show, we're like, we're gonna do a 30-minute show. My bad, dude. You know, I started talking. I think I'm anything else in LSU? No, we got plenty of time to talk about them. Either way, fantastic day in Baton Rouge. Everybody's happy. I hate Ole Miss. Fuck Ole Miss. Fuck Lane Kiffin. I actually like Lane. Lane, hey, next Nebraska coach, jet tracking season. You saw it, dude. I don't know. We'll see. Now let's get to who was it earlier in the chat that said go Ducks?
Oof,
Because Oregon, bro.
oof.
Oregon, Dan Davis in the chat. Oregon, how about it, Aaron? Right when you bail on USC for
Mm,
UCLA, you get a little taste of your own medicine
I
as
done messed up, T-Bob.
Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks roll UCLA. Hell of a statement, dude. I mean, what's your kind of interpretation of it?
Well, my interpretation was Bo Nix had the game of his life. 22, 28, 283, 5 touchdowns, 150 yards rushing. I mean, he literally couldn't miss. It was one of those games where, like, if you're a basketball player and you're shooting threes and the bucket is just gigantic, that's what it seemed like to Bo. Like, everything was wide open, and guys were wide open. I mean, UCLA was pretty piss poor on defense the entire game. It was pretty hard to watch. Every third down conversion or fourth down conversion seemed like Oregon was just finding ways to stay on the field and dominate. And UCLA's offense was fine. I thought UCLA's offense did fine.
Yeah.
DTR and Zach had a good game. It wasn't a great game, but it was a good enough game to win. It's just their defense could not figure out a way to slow down Oregon. And listen, we've talked about both teams in LA from USC, your boys, my former boys, to UCLA. We've kind of ignored Oregon. We have. I mean, ever since they got their ass
Yes,
whooped by
we've
Georgia,
completely,
we put them out of sight, out of mind. And since then, all they've done is just dominate. Like literally every single game, they've shown up. I know it's been against far inferior opponents, but they've dominated. They've done what they need to do. And tonight was the big statement of, hey, we can win big time football games. Obviously, they're at home. Like their home record over the past, I think, like 5-10 years is absolutely absurd. It is hard to go there to Eugene and win football games. But this is a good football team. It's a physical football team. But at the end of the day, it's still going to come down to if they want to go and win the Pac-12, Bo's going to have to be like what he's been like and what he was tonight. He cannot revert back to what we saw last year. He can't go back to what we saw versus Georgia. And hopefully it is just a Georgia thing where he just is awful versus the Dogs. But if he plays like he did tonight, that's a really, really good football team. And obviously right now they're number one in the Pac-12 and kind of are going to, based on their schedule, kind of run things up into that championship game.
Well, and then that's where it gets fascinating, right? I mean, they have the Utah test left, and then they would have the Pac-12 championship.
That's at home, though.
It.
That's huge.
And that's what I'm saying. But like that's it. Like they feel today like the team that is in line to win the Pac-12. And you're right. After the Georgia waxing, we could have completely ignored them, but we do have to allow room for growth, right? To me, the ultimate example of this team is 2015 Ohio State. I think it was 15. But remember the Ohio State team that lost to Virginia Tech and they come back and win the Natty? And it's not even like that's a great comparison because losing to that Virginia Tech team and this UGA team are two completely different animals, right? But the point is, the only time I really watched Oregon was then, and I think that's a lot of us. And so, like I think we may have a bit of a mental disconnect with just how good they are. And here's what I would say. I would rather have a one-loss Oregon, a one-loss Pac-12 champion Oregon in the Final Four than an undefeated ACC champion Clemson. Yeah. Do you agree?
First off, and I don't know if we're going to get to the game or not, Clemson should have fucking lost today.
Yeah. Oh, I think we might have lost Aaron for a second. Look,
I'm back.
Screw. Andy's back. Oh, you're back. Okay. Okay. So Clemson should have lost the game today.
Yeah, Clemson should have lost the game today. So yeah, I would, based on what we saw today, I would say that, but it's not going to happen. Like I still think an undefeated team, regardless of how bad their conference is, still deserves to get in because it's still hard to go undefeated. Like it's still hard to run the table to be. Obviously, we know the bullseye is huge on Clemson's back. Like they are the team in the ACC. Like they're going to get everyone's best shot each and every weekend. It's not easy to go through an entire season without some kind of oopsie, without some kind of moment where you just don't have your best game and you lose. So I still think that is tough. So I would award them the opportunity. Obviously, it's going to happen to go to an ACC or to the Final Four over a one-loss Pac-12 team. But if Clemson does stumble and say they do win the ACC as a one-loss team, yes, I would say a Pac-12 team right now would deserve to go over the one-loss ACC team to the final, to the playoffs. To me, if there was a one-loss team in every single conference, the ACC would be the one Power 5 team that I would leave out.
And that is exactly my point right there. Exactly my point. I mean, Clemson at this point, Aaron, is a stench. The ACC as a whole is essentially stealing valor. They're like out there claiming to have a Purple Heart. Like it's not a Power 5. It's a Power 4. I don't know, man. I'm starting to loathe Clemson a bit. Like they do not like. There is. I get what you're saying and how our world operates. An undefeated Clemson would get in over a one-loss Pac-12 champion Oregon, but that's wrong. Like that's straight up wrong. I don't think there's any other way to say it. Like Oregon going one loss with their only loss being to a Georgia team that could also be potentially undefeated when these things are decided. Like that is a more impressive run from Oregon than it is Clemson. And it just makes me angry.
Based on what we've seen this year and what we saw tonight, I want to say it, but like their schedule is just complete garbage. So it's hard for me to say it. But like Clemson is Clemson could fall at any moment. Right now, they have some issues at quarterback. DJU, for those who didn't watch it, DJU got benched. He kind of saved his job.
They benched
First Wake Forest. They benched DJU. Cade Klubnik came in. Didn't play great by any means. He kind of got helped out by, I would say, a completely BS call from the refs. He did have a nice 2-point conversion throw. But other than that, kind of through those first 4 throws I saw, and I know he's young, and if they give him the bye week and next week to kind of prepare, maybe he'll be a little bit better. But based on the limited reps I've seen of Klubnik, DJU is the better quarterback. He's the more talented quarterback. He's the more gifted quarterback. And I know he's not meeting the expectations week in, week out of what Clemson fans want. But if you honestly think that Cade Klubnik is going to come in there and be the better answer over DJU, you're going to be mistaken, and you're going to feel it in a really, really tough way at some point this season. So I think you give DJU one more opportunity. I think you give him the opportunity in the first half versus Notre Dame, see how he does. And if he struggles for a second consecutive game, then maybe then you decide to go to Klubnik. But right now, this is still DJU's team. He's the better quarterback. He's the better thrower. If I'm Dabo, I'm sticking with him unless he just shits the bed one more time.
I mean, who does Clemson? I mean, you know what? We all need to be cock lovers because we need South Carolina to beat Clemson. We need South Carolina to beat Clemson. I know they absolutely can. We need them to find a way and prove that joke of a conference. They do not deserve to get a team in the Final Four. Not when there's a competitive Pac-12 with 3 big dogs that are actually sexy, and a Wazoo that is impressive and fighting its butt off, and a Washington with Penix and exciting offense, and then you got the freaking Big 12, which top to bottom is just fantastic. The entire thing is excellent. The ACC's got nothing. And I love Syracuse, so I'm not even trying to crap on Syracuse. I wish Syracuse would have won today. I'd put Syracuse in the playoff.
The game changed with the BS call on Klubnik when he was rolling to the right, and he turned up the field, and the defender pushed him, and he gets called for roughing the passer when it clearly was not roughing the passer. Clemson goes and scores. Then Syracuse doesn't get the same exact call, same exact play, sort of. They don't get the call on Garrett Schrader. Clemson then goes and scores right after that. The game completely flipped. They should have punted the ball down 2 scores. Fucking refs, I swear. These refs in Clemson, man. Nonsense. My kids were freaking win the game. Dude, my dad. So I'm watching the game with my dad. My parents were at my house. We're watching it. And he
Papa
Murray. Papa Murray, Mr. Syracuse himself, Mr. Orange was dude. My mom's like, this is how he was at all your games, just dropping F-bombs. Like, Dad, my 2-year-old son's right here. Can we slow down on the F-bombs?
Nah, dude, 2-year-olds are fucking dumb, dude. They're fine, dude. What are they gonna do? They're gonna repeat shit. You good, dude. Hey, I heard you use oopsie earlier. How's the potty training going?
We quit.
Yeah. I know, bro. It's how it goes. I mean, look,
2 days,
it'll come.
Days in, there was zero progress on the potty training. He would sit on the toilet. He wouldn't pee for 20 minutes. And as soon as we got him off, he'd just start pissing everywhere. I'm just like, he's not ready.
It's the worst. It is the worst.
We're gonna give him some more time.
Get back in the film room. Look, we got to fix some things. You're like Jimbo. You're fine. We're going to get back in the film room, figure it out for next year. Hey, next year. Okay, next year. Don't worry. We're good to go, dude. I am really, I agree with Steve Moulton here. And shout out Steve, dude. Him and
Steve, I was in there with him, showing him how it's done. And we were feeding him treats, toys, watching videos of other animated things of people peeing, putting the water on. I was going
to say, Aaron, you might get into trouble if your internet history is full of kids pissing videos. That's
not animated cartoon on the live internet stream either,
I said animated. It was a cartoon on YouTube. It's very popular for
kind of weirder, but I guess legally more acceptable. Sure, yeah,
that's a lot more legally acceptable. I guess my wife found it's if you want your kid to pee, have him watch this YouTube video of all right, let's see. We were desperate, damn it. Get off my back.
Oh, I know, bro. I get it. I loathe it, and I'm putting it off with my second kid as well, dude. It's the worst. Shout out to Alexander Vaughn. He says, anybody play old school RuneScape? Drop the username. Hell yeah, dude. I don't play, but I appreciate people who do. Aaron, last thing. One thing that Oregon did tell me, we're sleeping on Georgia. And I know you're saying, T-Bob, how are we sleeping on Georgia, the number one team in the country? But a lot of times, because they're so dominant, they can kind of fall into the background of some of these conversations. And because they're so dominant, we can hold them to this bar that if they don't meet, we kind of convince ourselves that they're bad. That is obviously not true. And I'm not saying that this Oregon is the same Oregon team that played Georgia. They would go the same way if they played again. Like, it would probably be closer maybe. But just be careful counting out Georgia in all of this, because at the end of the day, there could be a very good chance that we're having to watch Kirby and the Dogs lifting that trophy again at the end of the year.
Yeah, obviously there's a chance. What I saw from Ohio State today and how dominant they were, I know Iowa sucks and Iowa's bad on offense, but still,
yeah, they kicked their ass.
They kicked their ass. But I still think Ohio State's the most complete team in college football. I don't know. As a Georgia guy, I am scared as hell of that game versus Tennessee, because you see what Tennessee did today. 52 points in the first half. I know it's UT Martin, but man, you would think that they would have some hangover after last week's game versus Alabama. They only put 52 points up in the first half. So I just think that offense right now is a well-oiled machine that is not slowing down for anyone right now. They don't care if you're crappy, awesome on defense, hungover, noon game, 3:30, 7 o'clock. Like, that offense has one speed, and that's 100 miles per hour, and we're going to be setting records. So if any offense that can score that many points should freak the hell out of any opposing football team.
Yes, especially in this era of football, I feel like. All right, look, huge thank you to everyone hanging out in the chat with us right now. Seeing a lot of names that I haven't seen before. We love it. Huge thank you to everybody who came out Snaps Live here in Baton Rouge on Thursday. It was fantastic. We love doing this, okay? So how you can help us, subscribe to the Volume Sports YouTube channel. If you sign up for the FanDuel Sportsbook, use the promo code SNAPS. That'll get you great deals as well. And then sub to the pod, right? Radio, Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your pods. We're on Amazon AMP now. We have exciting plans for the Amazon AMP show. Like, if you ever wanted to call in and kind of talk to us and ask some questions and stuff, I think that's what that show's going to end up being when we figure it out on the tech side. So a lot of big plans in the works. We're so excited to be on this journey with y'all. College football rules. LSU's atop the West. Georgia's atop the East. The show is rolling right now. Aaron, anything to add before you go out here?
No, man. It's Georgia Florida week. Starts tomorrow for me, baby. So let's go Dogs. Let's kick some damn Gators up. So I'll be nice and fired up come our Monday show.
Hell yes. Zach Lynn says A&M going 4-8. Tastes so good on the palate. What a great way to end the show. Okay, you know what, Aaron? I hate the Gators. I'll roll with you this week, dude. Go Dogs. We're about to smash them. And then, subscribe, all that stuff. We love you. We'll be back Monday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central. And then that's it. Y'all have a great day. Thank you to Ryan Brumley, our excellent producer. Thank you, Aaron. Thank you to everyone hanging out in the chat. We'll see you on Monday. College football rules. So do you. Snaps.